Hello, elite team athletes. Ryan Cochran-Siegle here at my home in Vermont, getting ready to run you through a fun core workout that I always enjoy. I really like this workout just because it's really challenging, but also you can kind of go at your own pace, go at what you're capable of. All the exercises are pretty adaptable to increase challenge as you get stronger and as you get good at them. So it's challenging in a lot of body coordination, a lot of balance, and I think those are very applicable to what you need to have as a ski racer, what kind of tools you can have in your back pocket as you're racing down the course. And I mean, you have a lot of challenges thrown your way. I think balance is always just so critical, being able to adapt, being able to just react, and I think that this kind of gets you back to a baseline of what you can kind of be working on off the slopes to get you best prepared for when you're racing down the course. So that's kind of my take on it, and hopefully you have fun with it and also feel challenged by it, but in a good way where you can keep building on it, because I think that's the important, is to be able to continue to just work and get better yourself. So I guess we can just get right into it. So the first exercise, I find it easier to have a bar. You don't have to have a bar, but it's easier just because you do kind of get a little bit of a balance issue. So the first one is it's just a lunge position with a torso lean. I like to do a wide grip and just make sure that you want to try to keep all your just feet planted and nothing else with your body, and then you just lean over and try to get that touch, and then come back and then go to the other side. And obviously that's pretty slow, so you can do it a little bit faster than that. I'd say I usually try to go like this. And sometimes it's nice with weight too, where you can use a barbell if you're strong enough. Obviously I'm 28 years old and the barbell's easier to use than if you're someone that's 10 or 12 years old. That's going to be a pretty big challenge, but just working with what you're capable of, I think, is important. And the point is just trying to really get these side core muscles strong and getting a little bit of balance with a bit of a precarious position. So that's the lunge position, torso lean. Now, so the next exercise is the side plank hip thrusters. You can do this on the ground, or we usually do it on a bench when we're working out, but the idea is, so you can start double leg or single leg. Single leg's more challenging, but you go up and then to push up position, push up, and then over here, up. And it's definitely really quick, so I would say single leg is challenging where you have less muscles to use in your legs, but it's a powerful position trying to get you to push. As you can see, going down single leg, you kind of push. I think on a bench you get a little more leverage, so sometimes that's easier if you have a soft pad on the bench to get your elbow down, but that's the side plank hip thruster. The next exercise is just a lunge walk with a upper body rotation. So once again, I like to use a bar with this one where it's more up here again, and then it'll be a walk, so probably start a little further back, and you go out and then you rotate across, trying to open it up but stay strong with your planted legs so that you're not like dipping. You want to be in a strong position where as you rotate across your hips, it challenges like where your balance center of mass is. So that'd be one rep, and then here again. And sometimes we do these where there'd be a band attached to the bar. So as you'd be pulling, there'd be a lot of a lot of torque on the bar, and that's kind of where you work with. But from the beginning, you want to just make sure it's more of a balance challenge in the beginning, and then you build strength from there. So that's the lunge walk with upper body rotation. This next exercise is pretty simple. You don't really need much to do it. I mean, maybe a mat if you want, but sometimes just the grass is fine. And it's just a push-up position, knee to elbow. So that's like the basic movement. You can increase challenge from there. So you just start in this high plank position, and then what you want to do is opposite arm, opposite leg. So then you're balancing on, so right hand, left leg, and you just go knee to elbow and then extend out. And so what I just did there with that dropping the hip, you want to prevent that, trying to stay solid. And definitely really tiring in the mid-core, but also your balance and body coordination. And to kind of increase difficulty, we can add a band that you're stretching. Also, sometimes we put our feet on a Swiss ball, so you have that balance and then that coordination. It's a lot to figure out with your body, but it's definitely a good challenge. And once you figure it out, it's a good feeling. So I like that one a lot. Now, this next exercise, I think it's helpful to hold something in your hand. It's actually pretty challenging. It's a lot of coordination, and as you go through the movements, you kind of figure it out as you go. But it actually, I guess you want to be sitting down at first. So keeping your arm or your legs splayed like this. You'll actually start down here. Now you don't have to hold the bar. I think it's helpful to have the arm up there just so that you're really activating the side. And also, as your legs splayed is helpful too, just because you can get more push spread out. So you kind of like think of yourself as the roots of a tree trying to get your trunk up. So you push up, really engaging this. Wait, did I do that wrong? And then, no, we're good. Up and over to this kneeling position. And then stand up. And then back down. Splay your leg wide there. And then down. And you can switch your sides. So switch your sides, and then you want to switch your legs too. And you'll go up. There. Here. Here. Back leg back. And then slow it down. It's definitely really hard on the way down just because you have a lot of movement and momentum going. You really want to control it to go down. I think there's a good way of, these are pretty hard from the beginning, so just to get a nice kind of bridge to before you're doing the full Bulgarian get up, you can just work on this movement where you're popping up and just trying to get your hips up, and then count that as a rep too. Because I think even this, you're getting a lot of work with your whole side core, and it's definitely really challenging. So I think it took me probably a whole summer before I started figuring out that movement for what it was and doing it correctly. So this next exercise is definitely more balance oriented than just straight up core strength. But I think it's always good to keep that in mind when you're being challenged. And yeah, so just a single leg, opposite arm, opposite leg, T extension. So it's kind of, you want to start just on one leg, and then you go here, and you're just trying to go out like this, and then back in, and then out. So left arm, right leg, and you want to be bent at the waist but not hunched over. You want to keep your back strong. So as you go, sometimes to increase the challenge too, you can put just a nice little stability disc down, or use a rubber band to build kind of the strength aspect of it. And it's a good body, like you're always kind of fighting to be back to center. And then obviously switch legs. So when you switch legs, right arm with the T, gotta get a good plant down. There we go. And then, oh, see how you just constantly fighting that balance. There it is. And here, and you get a little crunch in here trying to get your knee to the elbow too, which I think is good. And that's just the single leg opposite arm, T extension. So this next one is, you kind of do it for distance, but we call it the Spider-Man crawl, where you're just getting down in a low, kind of low position, and you go out. You really want to get this leg kind of knee to elbow again, and then forward, and then back. So you usually do it forward and back, and it's just trying to keep your hips as low to the ground as possible, and your feet and arms splayed wide. Think of like it as a Spider-Man as it crawls across the ground. So that's the Spider-Man crawl. Now this next exercise, I think can seem like it's pretty simple and easy, but I think that's just where focusing on doing it well is critical, and as you get better, you build strength. But so this is just a straight leg sit up where obviously legs are straight. Sometimes you can do your arms up. It's not really necessary, but you really just want to, as you go down, you're trying to just go one vertebrae at a time that's meeting the mat, like that, and nice and slow, and then try to really bring the chest up and over to get up. And it's really going at a slow just pace makes it so much more challenging. And I think just by doing it well, you can get more of that burn and more of that, I guess, challenge really with building your strength. I think with the legs, it's legs out too. You're also you're fighting that, you're just building that strong connected strength between your legs and your core, and that connection is key too. Yeah, so those are a lot of the straightforward exercises. You can always increase challenge, trying to do it on a slack line, trying to increase weight. I think in the beginning, try to keep it simple, try to see what's challenging, what your body is good at, what your body needs work on, and then kind of work from there with what you want to increase. But I think even just the basics is a fun workout to do. I think you'll feel tired in a lot of shoulder, a lot of base core, and also just like activating that balance in a different way than you might on the slopes, but it's definitely very helpful to me. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the workout. I usually try to do it in a circuit form just because I think as you move through exercises, it's nice to get a little bit of a break from one to the next, and then you kind of retouch back on that throughout the next round. But obviously it's adaptable, and you can kind of do it how you like to do it. But that's just my take on it. So this exercise is it's more for the fun aspect of it, because I think as you're kind of just getting sucked in a core workout, you can kind of lose sight of the enjoyment. But so I'm trying to just incorporate a little bit of fun with jumping and that, and then also including some balance too, which I think is good as a scary exercise. So this is it's just a lateral jump, but I think I always find it kind of the challenge, or the fun aspect of it comes from the challenge of getting that balance right. So obviously explode and then trying to land and stick it. So see how my foot moved when I landed? I think you want to like just absorb that, and just kind of, once you feel like you're good, then you jump back and stick it. Try to go for distance, and then just balancing on your leg as you go. I think in the beginning it's pretty challenging, where it's hard to really like control the landing. Like even there I was starting to lean in, so I think that kind of translates to skiing too, where it's a quick explosion out of the turn, and then you really got to set the turn up and really just be in a position where you're controlling to build that turn, and that's kind of where the load is at the lateral side. So here, and then slow, control, and then power out. And then, but that's it. Just single legs lateral jump, I guess is what you call it. But good luck.